Okay, let's talk about something I'm pretty sure a lot of you have felt, but maybe couldn't quite put your finger on. You know that weird, sudden burst of energy, of clarity that only seems to show up late at night?
I mean, picture this. It's 2 in the morning. The house is finally quiet, your phone has stopped buzzing, and bam. Suddenly, your brain is firing on all cylinders. You're more creative, more motivated, more focused than you were the entire day. So what's up with that? Is it just a bad habit? Well, psychology has a much, much more interesting answer. For the longest time, we've had all these labels for this. People call it bad time management, or maybe even insomnia. And the latest buzzword? Revenge bedtime procrastination. I mean, even the name sounds like something you should feel bad about, right? But let's dig a little deeper here. So the standard definition kind of frames it as this defiant act. Like, you know you're tired, you know you need to sleep, but you actively choose to stay up just to get a few hours for yourself. And this is where the guilt comes in, because it's usually seen as a lack of discipline. But here's the big question. What if it's not a failure at all? Okay, this is where everything changes. We're about to flip this whole idea on its head. Because psychology is now showing us that this late night energy, it's not a flaw, it's not a weakness. It's actually a subconscious and honestly a kind of brilliant rebellion for your own personal freedom. And this right here, this is the whole thing in a nutshell. On one side, you've got the myth, the thing you're told you need to fix about yourself. But then look at the other side, the truth. It's not a flaw. It's a deeply logical, psychological response. The takeaway here is huge. You're not broken. Your brain is actually trying to protect you. So why at night? Why does this rebellion kick in after the sun goes down? Well, there are 5 key psychological reasons that really explain what's going on. Let's get into them. All right, number 1, and this is a big one, it's all about reclaiming your sense of control.
I mean, just think about your average day for a second. It's just a constant stream of demands, right? Schedules, emails, meetings, what other people need from you. Your time is never really yours. But at night, that's the first moment you have total autonomy. You're in charge. You get to call the shots. That feeling of clarity you get, it's not random. That's what control feels like.
Okay, coming in at number 2, this one is all about your environment. Specifically, you're finally getting a break from sensory overload. For so many of us, the daytime world is just loud. And I don't just mean noise from cars and stuff. I'm talking about a constant bombardment of data, social cues, notifications, just nonstop stimulation. But when night comes, all of that just fades away. The world finally gets quiet, and you can really see that difference here. Look at the massive drop-off from daytime to nighttime stimulation. For your nervous system, that's like taking a huge, deep breath. It's not just calming, it's liberating. All this mental bandwidth that was being used to process the chaos of the day, it's suddenly free. And that's when your brain can actually, think. All right, number 3, we're shifting from sensory input to emotional input. The reason is, at night, you're safe from what's called emotional contagion.
Think about it. All day long, you're not just dealing with your own emotions, are you? You're absorbing the stress and the energy of everyone around you. You have to perform, to be on. It's exhausting. But at night, when everyone else is asleep, there's no one to perform for. No emotional static. And your mind, well, it wakes up because it finally feels safe enough to drop its guard.
Number 4 is a fascinating one. At night, your mind gets to enter a kind of safe mental playground. It's 2 in the morning. You can map out a whole new business idea, outline a novel, or figure out a complicated problem. And there's absolutely zero pressure to do anything about it right then. It's a completely consequence-free zone. Your brain gets all the joy of creative thinking without any of the stress of having to actually execute. It's basically the ultimate mental sandbox. And that brings us to our 5th and final reason. And this one goes right to the core of who you are. It's about reconnecting with your authentic self. We spend our entire day playing different roles, right? We're the employee, the parent, the friend. We're wearing all these different hats, and they all come with their own expectations. But when you're the only person awake in a silent house, all those roles just melt away. You're not defined by what you do for other people anymore. You just get to be you. That spark of creativity you feel, that's often your true self, finally getting a word in. So when you put all of these pieces together, the picture looks completely different. This habit of staying up late isn't some sign of weakness. It's actually a really sophisticated psychological strategy for survival. Look, your brain isn't trying to mess up your sleep schedule. It's just desperately trying to find a quiet corner of the day where it can get back some control, take a breath from all the noise, protect your emotional energy, and just touch base with who you really are. And that's the bottom line. It's not a flaw, it's a survival tool. That habit of coming alive at night is nothing to be ashamed of. It's a smart, logical way your brain is trying to find some peace in a world that asks way too much of us. So now you know why it happens. And that changes everything, doesn't it? The question isn't, how do I stop this anymore? Maybe the real question is, how can I honor this deep need for freedom and quiet while also honoring my body's need for rest? Something to think about. Thanks so much for joining me for this one.